Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I am the thing that's standing between you and a pint of Guinness, a glass of white wine, and I understand that. So I'm going to actually ask you to do two things. Listen reasonably intently to me. I'm on stage for maybe 10, maybe 12 minutes. I'm just going to run off stage again. I'm going to come back on. You're all going to get up on your feet, and you're going to give yourselves a huge round of applause for coming here today. We really appreciate that you're taking the time. So you're giving yourself a round of applause. I will also feel a lot of love here as well by proxy. So I'm going to give you a second. Everyone up on your feet, if you don't mind. I'm going to bound onto stage with enormous energy. Okay. Right then. So as I bound onto stage with enormous energy, at some point I will then do this, and then we'll just carry on. Okay. Let's go. Fabulous. Thanks so much, guys. I felt as if I gather that there may have been some people up very, very early on flights from all around Europe today, and we really appreciate it. This is not the end of the afternoon. This is the start of the evening. Think of it in that particular way. All you have between you at a fabulous night out in our wonderfully hospitable city is me, a coach ride, a check-in, a coach ride again, and then you'll be in-house, which is an awesome, awesome place to have an event this evening. A couple of very quick reminders for you. Retail bingo. This is something that we hear in every single event that we do, is that people are really keen to get to know lots of other people. So what I would ask is, there are people here who can moonwalk, who did a ski season when they were younger, they drink 20 cups of tea, they can whistle. I remember an event a couple of times ago when someone liked nude sunbathing. I made myself personally available for that particular client. I think it was someone from an agency, actually. Please do this, because in your feedback, you always say to us, please let us meet other businesses, let us meet other agencies, people from other countries. So please just take this. It's a super networking opportunity. Okay, I'm just going to wrap up a little bit now, and then I'm going to try and give you a little mnemonic to remember the day, and also which may help you. So just to wrap up, so we had Ronan Harris opening up, inviting you all and welcoming you all to Dublin, followed by the awesome James Cashmore. We actually had two guests from the UK. We had one from Ireland, one from the Netherlands. I'm kind of half Irish and half English, despite my accent, for all the English people. I've lived here for about 15 years. And a Dutch person as well, and a German person as well. So a truly international audience this afternoon, reflecting, of course, you guys. James talked about today's connected consumer in an e-commerce world, and gave us a great update on it, and also gave us the framework to become a change champion in retail. Followed then, memorably, by Neil. I think everyone who's seen Neil Halpin speak, he's a wonderful communicator, a great speaker. Hope you enjoyed his speech as much as I did. He has a truly idiosyncratic but memorable style, which I thought was great. He talked about mobile. Do we really get it? Winning in a multi-screen world. Took him at optimizing the site and measuring for success. Jeanette, all the way from Hamburg, talked about the power of your audience, winning the moments that matter. She talked about big data and how you could use both of those things to build relationships and also find new customers to connect with. Peter, I thought, did a super session on make yourself memorable, winning performance through branding. I think to stand up in front of 300 or 400 people here and do it basically without slides is very impressive, and I hope that you found his speech as engaging as I did. And then Yankos gave us some very helpful tips about working with your suppliers to grow your business. So that's just the wrap up, and I'm not the end of the afternoon. As I said, I'm now the start of the evening. Very quick thank you. Maybe you can just very briefly put your hands together and thank the organising team who did a wonderful job pulling this together as well. Okay, so I want to give you just an example of something which will serve as a sort of metaphor, if you like, for the messages that I would like to discuss. So I'm now going to give you, there's a couple of memorable things that happen in your life. So how do you get what you want? Two types of examples. One example might be if you ask someone out to dance for the very first time. You're 17. You're like me. You're a sort of sweaty, pimply, lanky teenager. Okay? Probably think you're going to fail horribly. Probably did fail horribly. But of course, at some point you need to put the courage up. But I'm actually not going to go that. I'm going to go with a slightly more gender-neutral example, which is getting a pay rise. So some fun facts about pay rises. But by the way, has anyone ever had a pay rise? Hands up. Okay, let me try this one. This is a gimme. Would anyone like a pay rise? There's some people who are not putting their hands up. You guys are obviously really happy over there on that side. By the way, do you know what the best time to ask your boss for a pay rise is? Is it the morning or is it the afternoon? Anybody? Any brave souls in the audience? You're obviously a boss. Yes, I share that. Apparently it's the afternoon. The morning you deal with the more stressful stuff. In the afternoon you're more expansive, apparently, as in the person that you're asking the pay rise for. Should you do it, this is a gimme, should you do it sober, maybe in the afternoon, or drunk at the office party? Okay. Well, how should you combine your hard and soft skills? That's actually quite a good one, because the hard skills are things like professional qualifications, that project that was really hard that I led, that actually generated a ton of money while saving time and being more efficient, and I was generally wonderful. But actually, what's interesting actually is when actually trying to get a pay rise, often the soft skills are the things that get you the pay rise, apparently. Attitude, teamwork, timekeeping, willingness to go the extra mile, personal popularity. That's a tough one, particularly if you're not personally popular. But the things to think about, and again I'm using this as a metaphor now to get onto my point, is what are your goals and what do you want to achieve? And that's terribly obvious. So, I used to work in an advertising agency, and there was a really traditional way of getting it done in an advertising agency. It was a three-pronged approach that was occasionally successful, not terribly often for me. Step one, appeal to your boss's decency. Okay? Appeal to the fact that your boss, he or she, was a decent human being. If that failed, secondly, if you needed to go there, threaten him or her. And if that failed, and I always tried this one, sulk. Okay, just feels fine. Okay. I'm just about, though, and you'll get the point of my ramblings now in a second, is there is a three-step process which will hopefully also serve as a mnemonic, and maybe also in your own lives to help you get what you want. And that, of course, is the what, the how, and the why. The what is, I'd like a pay rise, please. The how is, I want to demonstrate my value to the organisation. And the why, of course, is all the numerous proof points that demonstrate that. Which will, of course, allow you to deliver a powerful message clearly, concisely, and memorable. And we've just come up with something called a message house, which is basically just a way of understanding this. This is kind of blindingly obvious, / hopefully of some relevance. And look, you've got 7 minutes and you're going to be on the bus. Okay, so just bear with me, and hopefully this is somewhat useful. This is what a message house is: the what, the how, the why. I'll keep this very top line because you've been looking at this screen for the last 5 hours, so I'm not going to subject you to two-point type. And what we're going to do now is craft your own. You're not going to have to do much work here, by the way. I'm going to do most of the work. There are three simple steps. So you are a rapidly growing online retailer. Maybe you're a multi-channel, you're vertically integrated, a pure play, you're in anywhere from Bulgaria to Russia to the UK to Iceland. It doesn't matter. But you're probably interested in fostering, in growing your business online, in recruiting more customers at an even better CPA. Let's just say that was it. So here's a little example here. So one thing I'm sure will be occupying you is the fact that conveniently, or less conveniently now, consumers used to do everything via desktops. They used to go back to their desktop and search, but unfortunately, as Neil memorably showed us earlier on, they're not doing that as much as they used to anymore. So of course we need to connect with multi-screen users. And we're only on a journey here. Soon they are going to be built into glass, you're going to be built into your car, and there's going to be all sorts of amazing opportunities there. And why should you believe this? Well, of course, you should believe this because 90% of people move between devices in a sequential screening manner. 98% of them move between devices on the same day. So amazing stats. In the UK, the average number of devices per person is 3. And actually, if you go onto this is a plug, a wonderful Google site called Our Mobile Planet, you can get those stats for pretty much every single country in the world. I'm sure you're all avid users of it. But in case you're not, it's a fabulous site. And it also tells us that people use their smartphone everywhere. 3/4 of them use it on the go, 4/5 of them at work, and 82% in shops. Okay? Anyway, so that's just an example now. So, your own message house. Okay, you have to do a little bit of interactivity here. This won't be too stressful, though, I promise. So, we've just been through this one here. So, the what? I want to grow my business. Okay? Remember, back to the pay rise. I want to help my boss grow the business and secure myself a pay rise. Maybe there's a nice link to my rambling starter. Connecting with your multi-screen users, of course. And here are some of the proof points. So what else might be the things that would help foster our growth in an online world? And without being too blindingly obvious about it, is there anything you heard this afternoon that might serve to fill out the second and third buckets here? Okay, you've all done enough work. I'm going to carry on, okay? But well done, everybody, for that. I felt a lot of love back then, actually. I was doing a run off stage again and, come back on. So you might also think about some of the insights in the consumer journey. You might also start to think about that actually last click in search might not be the only way to attribute value. And of course, if you start thinking about those insights, as Jeanette memorably told us earlier on, you can reach your audience by knowing where they are in the funnel and what the user is interested in, engaging specific users up and down the funnel, okay? Down towards purchase with something like remarketing list for search ads, further up with maybe dynamic remarketing or similar users. And there are obviously a variety of different solutions there as well. And what also, you might then want to make yourself memorable. And I wonder, was anything that maybe Pete said a little bit earlier on that might help us here? So building our brand online by collecting signals, segmenting, engaging, and also creating a synergy by working with suppliers, as Yankov said, in terms of bigger budgets, making a larger overall impact here. Now, I'd like you all to do something now. I'd like you all to get your smartphones out. I'm saying you're a very literal audience. I'm going to stand here. We're going to do just a gigantic sort of selfie with me on the side of it. So this is your way to capture this wonderful moment between us now. Okay? So I'm just going to do this. Okay? You're going to see both the message house and also some of the messages, hopefully in a not too obvious way in terms of a recap that I'm just giving you here. 1, 2, 3. There you go. That was very good, actually. Well done, everybody. Okay. So, I'm nearly out of time. As I said, it's the start of the evening. It's not the end of the afternoon. Tomorrow, there is some awesome stuff. Absolutely awesome, okay? I want you all to go out and get drunk tonight, okay? But I want you to be back here tomorrow for the awesome stuff. Deal? Most importantly of all, let me go from the bottom up. There's going to be coffee and tea served from 9 o'clock. That will facilitate greater engagement in the rest of the day. Okay? We're going to talk about shopping. We're going to talk about improved performance. We're talking about conquering the challenges of multi-channel marketing. I'd like to pick on that session, I think it's between 2 and 3 o'clock tomorrow, with David Liversidge. He's probably the world's expert in this area here, multi-channel marketing, online to store, attribution. Very impressive stuff. And I'd really encourage you, if you haven't seen David speak, you will really enjoy that session. Very hands-on session. Okay, some practical notes. This is the last slide. Isn't that awesome? And I'm on time. So, you're going to have there are going to be coaches. They are conveniently parked just outside. I hope it's not raining outside. If it is, the coaches are so near that you'll only get a light dusting of rain. Okay? You'll go to the Maldron, Gibson, Bewley's. The coaches will pick you up at 7:15-ish to go to the venue. So it starts at roughly 7:30-ish. There are no coaches at night from the venue to the hotels because you lot probably won't need that because you'll all be in Coffee Face Jack's. There's going to have a bumper night tonight. And if you don't know what Coffee Face Jack's is, ask one of your friendly Google representatives who will tell you what Coffee Face Jack's is. In case you're making your own way there, it's on the app, but also it's in a wonderful venue called House. As I said, it's from 7:30. And just a reminder, even though I've already told you this, there's coffee and tea served tomorrow morning. One final time. You guys rock. Thank you so much for this afternoon. You've been a great audience. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.